Hey guys, welcome back. Today you are looking at the project we have in line to do today. It is the Bavarian crochet square, and these projects, once they're turned into afghans, are very beautiful. They are, as you can see, they're very textured. They are kind of 3D affected. You are working in well, not in, but you're working kind of around posts. You're working in large, which are your corners, and then small shells as well. You will be working in kind of clusters. And if you flip it over on the back, you see it kind of looks a lot neater on the back than what it does the front, but the front is what gives it its personality and its character. So there's a big misconception between the Catherine Wheel stitch and the Bavarian crochet. They're very, very similar, but there is somewhat of differences between the two. I'm not going to go into that because this is the tutorial for the Bavarian crochet, but I did want you to know that way in case it is brought up that yes, there are some differences between the two, and you can find those on the internet as well. Also, you can make these squares, they get bigger. This is just a demonstration for the square. The idea behind the Bavarian crochet is you just keep going and going and going, and the afghan itself just builds to the size that you desire it to be. And you can work this in as many colors as you would like. I used 2 colors. I was going to make this round in this whole color here, but as you can see, I sort of ran out. So I resorted back to my teal to finish that up, which it doesn't look bad. So you're working in a couple different stitches here. You'll be working in, of course, your slip knots. You'll be working in your front post double crochet. And Bavarian crochet is a British type form of crochet. They have their treble stitch, which is actually our double crochet. So in their patterns where they have their trebles listed as triples, when you see the treble listed, you will be doing double crochet, not treble or triple. Okay, so these are done in double crochet. There is no triple crochet that you will be doing. You can do it as a triple crochet if you would like. I'm not saying you can't, but it is, their pattern is actually written up in the British form, so don't get yourself confused on that. But whenever they, again, when they state treble, it is our double. So that is how you will actually, in the correct form, work up this pattern in the American language. So let's get busy with this. Go ahead and pick out your colors. My colors, I will be working in a solid mauve, a combination roll of mauve, pink, and white, and then my roll of pink is already unraveled, or white is unraveled a bit, so I'm going to be having a solid white. This square here is made with an eye hook or a 5.5 millimeter. You can also work it in a J. You can work it in any size. I don't typically work it in any size smaller than an I9. So let's get busy with this beautiful square. And I will meet you back up, gather all of your items, and I'll be right back. So the first thing that we're going to work on here is we're going to actually work on our 4 inner corners here. And you see those 4 little clusters there? That's going to be the first thing that we work on. And then the way to do that is we are going to start with a slip knot, and you are going to chain 5. Alright, and before I go any further, let me add to this pattern. I get a lot of questions and comments when I start to do an intermediate or more of a professional type stitcher pattern. Let me encourage that this is not a beginner's type project. I do need to add that to my videos some. If you are a beginner crocheter, this is not a pattern for you to tackle straight off the bat. I often get messages and PMs and emails of, is there not a different way that I can do this pattern, because I'm having trouble with the way that the pattern is written or told to do it. And I'm thinking to myself, no, this is the way the pattern is, this is the way the stitch is, this is the way it has to be worked up. So I'm not really sure what type of response that some of you really want me to give you on questions like that, but the way that a pattern or a stitch or stitch pattern is wrote up to make it look like it is the way that it has to be completed. You know, so now mind you, there are some stitches that may have one or two different ways you can work your hook to get the same effect, but to work a pattern, you work it the way that it is designed to be worked to get the pattern. I'm not a miracle worker, and you know, most of us crochet artists are not. The way that it is made is the way that it's made. We can't come up with a different way for you to be able to work it to suit your level of crochet. So all I can do is to tell you to view the video over and over and over and over until it just clicks with you, because a lot of times that has been the best way I have been able to get new crocheters to understand things. If they're a video viewer and they learn visually better than reading a pattern, keep rewinding that part until it just finally clicks with you. And believe me, it will. I promise you, it will click. Maybe not that day. Step away from it. Maybe it takes a day or two, but eventually it will click. Okay, so this is not a new crochet, a beginner's pattern. So we chained 5. So let's join that together to form our ring. So what we're going to do is chain 4. Okay. So now what we're going to do, we are going to be working into the center here. And we're going to be making our clusters. So you're going to be doing basically 4, you're going to be doing your double crochet together in here to form basically what I would call like a bobble, a type of a bobble. And then you're going to be holding that ring onto that hook just like this, and you're going to be doing that until you have 6 rings on your hook. Okay, so there's 2, and actually you're going to have that ring from that chain 4 there as well. Okay, so you want to do that and pull through 2. Pull through 2, so now I have 5, so I have to do that once more. So make sure you're working in double crochet. So basically you're going to be putting 5 double crochet in the ring per petal, okay? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So you have your 6 hoops. So you want to yarn over, pull through all of those, okay? And that's going to be your first corner. Then you want to chain 4. Okay? So that's what that's going to look like. You're going to do that 3 more times because you want a total of 4 corners. So yarn over, and then you want to do this again. You want to do it until you have 6 hoops on your hook, which basically means you put 5 double crochet in the center ring. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so then you want to yarn over, pull through all of those hoops, and chain 4. And keep in mind, this may actually roll up on you a little bit. That's fine. It will work itself out once we start moving on. And you may have to scooch these over a bit. Okay, so on to number 3. So we'll repeat that process until we have 6 hoops. Again, this is a very detailed little square. Lots of attitude. Okay, so count your hoops, then yarn over and pull through all of those and chain up 4. Okay, so now you see somewhat of a square forming. Scooch that over just a tad bit and let's work that last corner. But these make very, very beautiful afghans. They do, however, take a lot of yarn, but they do use up scrap yarn beautifully. Okay, so let's yarn through all of that. Chain up your last 4. Alright, and now what you're going to do is you're going to take from that chain 4 and you're going to slip stitch into that 3rd chain. Okay, now that's what you have for this first round of the Bavarian crochet. Alright, now for our next round, round 2, what we're going to be doing now is we're going to be working into the top part of each one of our clusters. So what that means now is we're going to be making the top parts. If you look here, you're going to be working into the top part, the top stitch here, and kind of making like our little fans, or at least that's what they look like. Now the stitch is very tedious to find, so you want to look real good at your piece, and if you look here, you see this stitch here. Don't make the mistake of going into there, and don't make the mistake of going into that gap. Look at that closely. You're going to see just a little peephole right there. You see that little peephole? That's what you're going to be working into. So what I want you to do is you're not going to chain up anything here. You're not going to be doing anything. You're just going to be stretching directly into it. So go right into there and double crochet 12 times, okay? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, whoops, lost my count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. So let's go back and make double sure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, well, I'm making sure. Make sure you have all 12. No hair allowed. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yep. Alright. So now what you want to do is now you have a big gap right here where you did your chain work. You're just going to go into that gap and pull a slip stitch. That tightens that down. So now you move right on into that next cluster, right into the top there, and do the same thing. You want to put 12 in there. And it's just going to all fan out for you. So that's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and it gets a little tight in there, and 12. Okay, then you have that whole big gap there, so just pull that slip stitch through. Okay, so work your next 2 and I'll meet you back up. Okay guys, so let's just finish this off here. So we're just going to now slip stitch like normal, and we're going to cut our yarn and we are going to finish this off. Okay, so now what we have is a finished row, and if you want to go ahead and weave in ends, that's fine, or you can do those later. But being that you're going to be working around your posts here, if you want to go ahead and weave in some ends so you can get that hidden end, that will probably benefit you in the long run. So I'll weave mine in just a bit. Now go ahead and get your next color ready. So now what we're going to be doing is we are going to start working half of our next circle. So we are going to be working the next half circles here. So what that means is we're going to start working in the 9th, around the 9th post. So what you want to do is you're going to count. So don't count your beginning post. You want to count working from the post that we started working in our 12 here. So start counting. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Okay? So once you've found your 9th post, let me try that one again. I just lost it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. You're going to hook your yarn up in the back loop. Okay? Only back loop. So pull that through and through. Okay? So now what you're going to do is you're going to chain up that 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now we're going to work going this way. Now what you're going to be doing is you're going to be working over the next 4 stitches here, then that slip stitch that we did, and then the next 4 on this next part of our fan stitch, what I call it here, just to identify it for you. So now you're going to be working around your posts. Okay, so what you're going to be doing is doing double crochets. So you're going to yarn over, and on this next post here you're going to yarn over and you're going to go in the back. So you're going to push that stitch back, yarn over, and pull that stitch up and pull through 2 only. Okay, and you're going to do that for the next 9 stitches, I believe. So you're going to go in the next one, do the same thing, pull through 2. You want to have 10 stitches or 10 loops on your hook. So you yarn over, go around the back of the next post, push it back and grab that yarn, pull through 2. Alright, and you're just going to keep doing that until you have these 4 completed on this side. Okay, that should give you 5 hoops. And then you're going to do it around the slip stitch here. See how I'm pushing that back? Pull that up. That should give you 6. Now you're going to be working up the next 4 here. So yarn over and push that stitch post back. Yarn over, pull through 2, and then you're going to do the next 3 up through here. And you're going to keep all these on your hook until you have 10 hoops. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay? So now at this point you're going to yarn over and you're going to pull through all of these. Okay? So that's what you get when you do that. Then what you're going to do is chain 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now, for that last one that you went around, make sure you look and find where that last one was, which is right here. You're going to go in that back loop of that stitch post, and you're going to do a slip stitch, sorry. And that's just going to kind of hold that into place for you, because you had that one on this side. You want to even it out and have it on this side, okay? So now what you're going to do in the next 4, well, you're going to chain 4 here, and then you're going to do a process, the same process, but you're only going to do it around the next 4. So you're going to yarn over, and you're going to push the next one back, the next post, and you're going to do the process of this, the same process in the around the next 4 posts. And you want to have 5 hoops on your hook this time. So there's 4, and then there's 5. Okay, so that is what we're doing here. You see how right in here these are only your kind of half moons is what I'll call it, and then the 4 that we're doing are the little corners. This is the working on the straight way right here, and then these are your little half moons, which are going to be your corners. So right now you're working on the corner, so you want to yarn over and pull through all 5 of those. Then chain 4. Okay, and then around that last post right there, where you see that red hoop at, you want to go into the back loop of that post and do a slip stitch. Okay, and that's what you're going to do all the way around this row. Chain 4, and then you're going to be working that next section of 9. So 4 here, then you're going to have that slip stitch, and then 4 from here. Okay, so you'll yarn over and go through the next 4, so, and push that back, that post back, yarn over, pull through 2. The next one, so you're just going to repeat this process all the way around. The key is to make sure that you're having 4, that you're working around the posts of 4 on this side and 4 on this side, and the slip stitch in the middle. So I have 5 on my hoop, or 5 hoops on my hook, which is correct, and then now I'm going to go work around the slip stitch here. Oops, that didn't work. These are a little tough to do, so just work with it. And then you'll go and work your next 5, or your next 4, I'm sorry, till you have 10 on your hook. And you'll stop and count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. One more. Okay, and then you'll yarn over and pull through them all. Then chain 4 to lock everything in place. And then you want to find that last post you worked around, which is here. And then you want to slip stitch in that back loop. Okay, so you see how that's coming out? These are your big shells, and these corners are going to be your little ones. Okay, so let me back that up a bit for you so you can see. Alright, so what you're going to do is you're just going to keep working that around, and I'll meet you back up and we'll finish that last one together. Alright guys, I'm back. I'm going to do this last corner with you. So I've chained my 4, so now we're going to go into these around these very last 4 posts here. So that's 1, that's 2, that's 3, I think I got one too many hoops right there. Okay, and then that's 4. Okay, so I have my 5 hoops, so I'm going to pull through, chain my 4, and then what you're going to do here is you're not going to slip stitch here, you're going to slip stitch right here in the beginning where we started and pull that through. Okay, so at this point, this is what we have so far for our square, and it is lovely. Okay, so now what we're going to be doing, this is the part that we did. Now you're going to be putting the last row on, which is the top part of this square. So if you want to change colors, you can, or you can finish it off in this color, and I'm going to actually finish it off in this color. So what you will be doing at this point is you will do like we did right back here. You will actually be jumping all the way over to this center part here, and you will be doing 12 double crochet. So you will go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, grab my yarn here, 6, 7, 8, 9, nope, actually we will do 8 here in the center. My fault. You will be doing 8 here in the center. Then right here where you see the parts that we did our slip stitch, you will actually be doing the same thing right here and be doing a slip stitch to hold that together as well. Now in the corner part, this corner right here, you will actually be working in the gap. You will be doing 12. I told you wrong. So here you will be doing 8, and in the corners you will be doing 12. So there's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Okay, then what you want to do is right there where you see that obvious slip stitch that as well. And then you want to jump right to that next half of a fan there, and you want to go in with a double crochet and put your 8 there. So there's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Okay, and then your slip stitch right there, and then you'll go right into the corner for another 12. So there's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Alright guys, we are at the last corner, so we are going to finish up our double crochet. So we need to get 12 crochet here, double crochet. So that's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. So then all you're going to do at this point is go right down there and do your slip stitch. And then you're just going to finish that off. And now at this point, this is where you're going to do your next color change. I'm not going to do another color change. This is pretty much all that you're going to do for your Bavarian crochet. It's just going to repeat itself at this point. So both of these are my example pieces. You just keep going and you're just going to start repeating this process. So you will, at this point, you will just start repeating what I have shown you and repeat the rows, and you will just keep going from here on out and just make your project bigger. As I said, there are several different patterns that you can look up. I know favecrafts.com, they have a really good one. It has a a picture diagram as you go along and do that. Some people have a bit of a difference when it comes to, you know, a couple of the stitches when you chain up and things like that. But as I said, be real careful when it comes to the treble versus the double. If you choose to do the treble, which is in the British language, that's up to you. These are done in double. And Red Heart did have a pattern you could go by. I have not been able to come up with it here lately, but I went off of the one that I had printed off of theirs a while back. But I just kind of remembered it sort of from making it before, so I don't really have anything to guide you to it directly right now, so I apologize for that. So hopefully you guys can learn from the video itself right now until I can find one. But again, as I say, all you got to do is type in Bavarian crochet and you will come up with many links that will guide you to that. So hope you enjoyed this video, and the pattern, it's really beautiful. You should try it in an afghan, and it would make a beautiful Christmas afghan, by the way, using Christmas colors. So until next video, guys, happy hooking!